A woman straight out of Southeast, 32 years old, has been indicted, arrested, and charged with kidnapping, murder one, and obstruction of justice. I'm hoping and praying that complete closure comes from these arrests in the form of the suspects telling where Chyna's body is. What's poppin', y'all? It's your girl, B. Octavia. What's going on? Hold on. Because the dogs is out. Let me pop this mic in. Nigga that may be mad again. Alright, so I'm here for a good time. Not a long time. Y'all already know. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, B. Octavia, and I am back with another video. In today's video, we will be talking about Chyna Crawford. And unfortunately, news of her disappearance didn't go as mainstream as everybody hoped. But even that being the case, I'm going to let you know who she is. And I'm going to let you know all of the updates that we have thus far, because we have quite a few. Now, Chyna Crawford is a 25-year-old woman that resided in Southwest DC. She went missing in October of 2023, and now we are in the present day of the end of March, almost April of 2024, and there has been movement, arrests, as well as updates on Chyna and the circumstances of her disappearance. On October 23rd of 2023, that was a Monday, Chyna's sister, Kia, recalls that she was moving to a new place. She was in the neighborhood that Chyna lived in, so she just decided to pop through. And she didn't stay long due to her being in the process of moving. Even though Kia didn't stay long because she was moving, she knew that her and her sister were supposed to get together that following weekend. And because Chyna Crawford disappeared, her and Kia weren't able to hang out. On Wednesday, October 25th, Kia and Chyna's mom called Kia and asked her, had she heard from Chyna? Their mom expressed worry and panic when neither of them had talked to her or seen her in the last few days. So Chyna Crawford was living with her mother up until the year before 2023. Chyna acquired a really good job working with a nonprofit organization, and she was able to get her own apartment in Southwest, and she was living alone. They started asking around to Chyna's friends and people that knew Chyna. Had they heard from her? Had they seen her? And the response was no every time. After doing that, they checked Chyna's location via the Find My iPhone app, but it didn't show anything. After exhausting all other options, they reported Chyna Crawford missing. On November the 3rd of 2023, the MPD held a press conference asking the public's assistance in locating Chyna, stating where she was last seen in Southwest and her vehicle description, along with a picture of her tag. Due to the circumstances off rip, police labeled Chyna's case as a critical missing person. A few weeks into November, the MPD bumped Chyna Crawford's case up to the major crime unit. And that's a rare move for a missing persons case to go to a unit that specializes in it doesn't happen often. Up until this year, 2024, there has been no updates available to the public. And even after the first few times I saw her name and I saw the family on TV and they were checking the woods in the area of Anacostia, or was it the Potomac? I'm not really sure. But I just kept checking. Like every so often, I just kept checking to see if she had been located, if she was just somewhere and she's fine. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they have mental breakdowns and they need a break. But a lot of people thought that her disappearance was that of sex trafficking, and it was scary to think of it in that way. Very possible. Everybody wanted what was best, and what was best was for her to be okay, right? But people have other intentions that we gonna get into, y'all. Up until this year, a few days ago actually, there have been no updates available to the public and no further press conferences held. And sadly, there was no updates given to Chyna's family, but nonetheless, her mother, sister, and brother always stood front line trying to find her. Now, in 2024, the truth is being uncovered and several people are being held accountable for what was done to Chyna. It was announced just days ago that a woman straight out of Southeast, 32 years old, has been indicted, arrested, and charged with kidnapping, Murd3r, and obstruction of justice. LaShawn Tweedy Washington is being held without bond and accused of kidnapping Chyna Crawford to take her property and money. And after retrieving all items of value, investigators believe they, meaning LaShawn and a few accomplices, killed her. Until we get further information, we won't know the how, but we definitely know the why. I'm hoping and praying that complete closure comes from these arrests in the form of the suspects telling detectives, investigators, whoever they gotta tell, where Chyna's body is. It would be so cruel, in my opinion, if they didn't fully accept their fate and give Chyna's family the opportunity to bury their loved one. Of course, we know there have been many cases where it is proven the defendant killed the victim and they get sentenced and everything, and they still do not tell their loved ones where the body is, as some means of leverage, but it never ends up working like that. And it's almost like you're holding their body for ransom, and it's pathetic, you know? So I'm hoping that at least one of them has heart enough, excuse me, because you can't have a heart, you out killing people for stuff that you had the opportunity in the 24 hours to make. While I am relieved that this was not an act of sex trafficking, it doesn't mean that sex trafficking is not in the District of Columbia. I want all young women, and I mean young women, to be in their 20s too. But of course, the teenagers and the preteens, y'all got to be careful, because a lot of people don't work alone. A lot of people nowadays is not going to kidnap you by themselves. They're going to need some muscle with that. It's always going to be more than one person. And that's criminals' downfall every single time. It's a lot going on in the district right now. And what I will say is it's a lot of innocent people getting targeted. Something that sex traffickers and just, people that are on the prowl have in common in general. They like when their victims live alone. It does affect the time period where a person is reported missing, or people find out. Some family members start putting stuff like that together maybe a week later, like, you ain't talked to him? No, I ain't talked to him since last Monday. You know what I mean? That's at no fault of their own, speaking on other families, but you can tell that this family is close knit. you can tell that they always stay in communication with each other, and that's a beautiful thing. And they are the reason why they're getting answers. Like, salute to the MPD, of course. They doing their thing. I definitely want to say that. The MPD is doing their thing, and they are apprehending folks on a daily, on an hourly basis. I'm like, damn, they must got the FBI with them. I'm telling you, they must got some SWAT. The damn Falcon helicopter, he doing his job. Like, it's all going great. You feel me? And this is an example of that. They are doing an amazing job, but I have to say that it does take the family's effort to really beat the door down and really put fire under detectives' asses, because it could be very aggravating for certain detectives to be switched off of the case, and then you got to meet a whole new detective, or this one is on vacation, so you can't talk to him about what you talked to him before about. And it just becomes very aggravating when you're trying to stay on task with finding your loved one. I wouldn't wish this on nobody. And just because she was alone doesn't mean that she deserved to be a target. I swear, it's something about the older women, and it could be a few years. In this case, it's like, what, 7 years? LaShawn Tweedy Washington, or that's the bitch name. She's 7 years Chyna's senior. And she should feel like she got to get up and get to some hustling as far as a job. That'll get you the money that you're willing to take. A job. Stop laying up under a nigga, or you got a place of your own under public housing. Of course, you taking up a spot. You taking up a spot, and then you got your nigga in there, ain't paying no bills, and you want to take from an independent woman. My thing is, why do y'all always take it so far? If you wanted the car, you could have took the car when she went upstairs to her goddamn place of peace and just leave her alone. But no, you wanted to take her, the vehicle, all the stuff that she had. Like, I want to know where this happened. Did y'all bust into her apartment? Did y'all hop in her car as she was getting in the car? Like, what did y'all do? How did y'all do this? You feel me? I truly want to know, because she did go missing in Southwest. Okay. And in Southwest is where her apartment is. So I want to know, and I'm going to ride this ride and see where it goes. It could go to trial. If they smart, they wouldn't go to trial because it's too much evidence already, And it's crazy how a guilty mind works. Like, people said that LaShawn Tweedy Washington was on live talking about Chyna, talking about how much she missed her and how she needs to be found. The guilty mind is a motherfucker. The guilty mind is something else. And then on top of that, it's like Chyna's family doesn't know LaShawn Tweedy Washington. That says a lot as well. That means that Chyna probably knew her in passing or didn't know her at all, and Chyna was being watched. It is so disgusting how many bums and lowlifes it is now in DC. Like, this used to be a hustling city. And even if you're not talking about drugs and all that, it used to be heavy business owners and shit like that. Now, this city is overcome with fiends, with homeless veterans, with very mental people. Very, very much so mental. It's not safe by any means. And on top of all that, that's already something. But then we also have people who are still at a decent age of their early 30s throwing their lives away like they don't know no better, taking advantage of younger people who have the same 24 hours that they do. It's a whole lot of people that is around the age of 27, 28 to 32, 35 that are complete bums with nothing going for themselves because that's how they would rather live. It's crazy. It's insane. So I'm glad that the MPD is on it. And I hope that if the suspects don't tell where the body is, that her body gets found regardless, because that's God. That's God. And them being found so fast is God too. No bad deed will go unnoticed. And I'm changing the regular quote because most of the time your good deeds will go unnoticed, especially by undeserving people and ungrateful people. So I'm gonna change it. No bad deed will go unnoticed. You will not get away with it. For instance, this right here, a murder from 1990 has been solved. There has been a arrest damn near 30 years later. So the MPD is on their shit. Salute to them. You feel me? My husband comes from out of there. I'm just claiming that. So yes, please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see y'all in my next one, which will be a update on a case that I have already spoke on. So stay tuned for that. And this is the final update for it, meaning the conclusion. Okay, so I will see y'all in that video. I will be going live more in the month of April. You know what I'm saying? Wi-Fi is doing its thing right now, so I'm just gonna use it while it's good. And yeah, thank y'all for hearing me out, and I'll see y'all later.